What's up, everybody? I've got a freaking... What's up, everybody? Got a heater for you today. I don't know if y'all have been following this channel for a while, if you know what's going on. My name's Lee Haight. I own a roofing company, top 15 roofing company in America, RRCA, Roofing and Reconstruction Contractors of America. My entire life, I've been under attack by other salespeople, roofing companies, competitors. Look, one of the biggest problems with the world that we live in is we live in a cancel culture society and a crabs in a bucket society where everybody looks at everybody else, and to make themselves feel better, they want to drag people down. And you know what I really want to talk about is like the hard parts of business that I don't usually discuss. You know, I had a conversation with Dimitri Lipinski from Roofing Insights, and you know, inside of that conversation, I kind of made a discovery, you know, that a lot of times, you know, I do talk about the biggest successes in my business. I talk about the good things, but I don't always share the real, the hardest parts and the hardest truths about the business. So guys, if you want to hear about that, then give me some hearts, share the stream. Also, in growing your contracting business, there's always going to be people who come into your business, they move on to a different path, they come into your business. Maybe they're an entitled worker who doesn't work as hard as they need to. Maybe there's somebody that doesn't align with their core values. They go on to the next company. Maybe there's somebody that's extremely talented. They grow inside of your organization, but you don't give them a place to go. Give me some hearts if you've ever felt like losing good people is probably the hardest thing in your business. Whenever I have somebody with good talent that is a good person that aligns with my core values, you know, my biggest, like what I pride myself in most is being the best facilitator of success. So no matter what the issue is, I always kind of look back on the situation and say, hey, you know, what's my part in this story? And so to turn on Facebook and see my face next to the words Ponzi scheme and a picture of this person who had just made a testimonial about my company and how we had helped her buy her first or a house after a tough time, you know, it was really kind of alarming to me. And it wasn't, of course, the first time that somebody really close to me completely turned on me. But essentially, kind of, I want to give you the insight, maybe not too much of the specifics. First and foremost, I want to tell people, even my biggest enemies, my biggest haters, people that feel like that I'm just an evil human being, what I want you to know is that I pray for you. What I want you to know is that I hope that you have health, wealth, and all the success and happiness in the world. Now, am I a perfect human being? Absolutely not. Do I definitely get in these angry moments where I have really forceful, resentful ideas and thoughts about my enemies? Absolutely. But to me, success is the best revenge. And if you're trying to watch this as a business owner, you want to know, what can I take from this? First of all, let me kind of walk you through the truth about my background, my story, the profitability of RRCA on a year-to-year basis, this idea that maybe RRCA is a Ponzi scheme. And, you know, I just want to kind of answer any questions that anybody might have head on. And also, I kind of want to talk about how you, as a business owner, as a salesperson, once you have massive success, the cycles of success. I can remember when no one knew who I was. Everybody knew who my uncle was. And I was coming up in the game, and I was reading Grant Cardone's content. And at first, the people like you. And I can remember all the people in the roofing industry really like seeing me as a young up-and-comer and as an entrepreneur with a lot of potential that was adding value in the marketplace. And then once you start to have some success, what will happen is people will begin to hate. And you know, the reality is many of you want to do big things, and maybe you don't have these people in your life, but you know, you should basically, when you start encountering some feedback, look at it as natural resistance from the world. No great man can be made without resistance. That's a quote I got from Randy Couture when I interviewed him last year leading up to the Blue Collar American Dream Conference. Some of the resistance that I've felt in my life is this roofing business has changed a lot since I started. 18 years ago, it was just about door-to-door, chasing storms. Technology hadn't made it such a competitive race. There wasn't as many people in the business. We operated with GPS. We didn't even have, first year the GPS came out was like my 19 years old in the business, and there wasn't really hail maps for everybody. We did it, kind of made our own maps, and this insurance restoration market, every time we go to a storm, more people get into the business, more companies get spawned, and the business becomes more competitive. And what I can tell you is our company, before I came along, my dad and my uncle had a lot of success. And in 1998, my dad and my uncle, they split up. And my uncle had a lot of massive success, and my family, we were working on a big idea to change the industry, to set the standard. My dad, he wanted to build a software that connected the insurance companies, the insurance agents, the customers, and the contractors. He built a platform. We spent a lot of money, and the software, it really helped us get more organized as a business. And but we're roofers, and here we are trying to change the world and make it a better place. So when really we should be thinking about, making the best business that we could make. And what happened is over the years, this is probably 10 years ago, the first time I went to a roofing convention as Claim Express. We had this awesome software that came out at the same time as AccuLinks. It was a simple and efficient solution, but we just didn't stay dedicated to selling it. We didn't understand internet marketing, and we didn't build the back end to support like the software. It takes time. And so my company, we went to convention after convention. We developed technology, and we acquired some debt. And so as a company that, is really primarily a roofing company carrying around $500,000 in software debt, I'm like feeling like that was one of the biggest failures. For my dad, it was his big idea. I thought, I could sell anything, man. If you ever felt like that, give me some hearts if you feel like no matter what. Ice to Eskimos, I see my man David Kelly. I met him at one of these conferences. David Kelly's been with my company for years. I'll tell you the story about how I met him. He came in. We really hadn't sold Claim Express to that many people, but this one guy came in at the end of the conference. He was asking all these funny questions. Me and David, we went out and partied that night, got to know each other. Next thing we know, a few months later, we're working storms together. 10 years later, we've done millions and millions of dollars of business together, really got to know each other. And I'm sharing you this story because, the trials and tribulations of scaling a roofing company, it's not easy. Risk is the down payment for success. And in scaling Sky Diamonds, there's been times where I felt like a complete fraud. And especially when I first got started, because the first year I got coaching, I had this big, great year. And a lot of us have big, great years, and then we don't have great years. We can't duplicate success because we're storm chasers. We go around and we chase these storms. And that's really what happened the first time I got up and got Sky Diamonds University on the ground. I fell right on my face in my own roofing company, and I felt like literally this guy. I remember sitting in church, and here I am carrying around debt from a software. I have this great idea to close Grant Cardone on a roofing project. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal development up to this point. I'm on the internet creating content, bad content as that. You probably look at some of this stuff and you can laugh your ass off because some of this stuff was just terrible. Give me some laughing faces if you thought the content from my early days was just absolutely garbage and just funny shit to laugh at, or some hearts if you see and you like what we're doing today. More importantly, I was sitting there in church with, not knowing how I was going to pay my bills, a ton of people that depended on me. I'm coaching people. I'm an expert. Now, how much is my business doing? How much am I making? At that point, I'm doing about $8 to $9 million a year. I'm carrying around extra debt because I have these big projects. I'm building out Sky Diamonds University. We have a software, Claim Express. We're trying to change the roofing industry forever. And I fall flat on my face. This is 6 years ago. And the way I made a rebound was I came to Florida and I learned a way to become a storm catcher. I mean, I did it off of a storm. And a lot of people say you can't go to a hurricane and work unless you have a lot of cash. And that's just not true. In order to, at this point, I was like literally at my wit's end, didn't have financial resources. I prayed to God, and it was actually one of my commercial building owners that I'd sold a bunch of jobs to that gave me a hard money cash loan with high interest rates, enough money to go start a storm, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I turned those hundreds of thousands of dollars into hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, but it wasn't pretty, okay? Right after Hurricane Irma, my company didn't have all the leaders in place. We didn't have all the systems in place. We were a $10 million company trying to go to $20, $30, $40 million overnight. And we did with sales, but we had a lot of broken systems. We had a lot of broken culture. And as a leader, you could call me an incomplete or underdeveloped or immature CEO. And of course, the consequences of that were, missed opportunity. And give me some hearts if you've ever felt like you missed some opportunity in your business. And the truth about RRCA is, even in these big years, we reinvested a lot of the profits back into the business. And I've paid GMs, sales managers, salespeople the majority of the profits. And if there's one thing I can say, it's that over the years, whenever you do volumes of revenue, but you may only pay yourself 5% off the top, it doesn't feel like the risk is worth the reward when your take-home profit is that low. But what you're building is the people. What you're building is the systems. What you're building is the culture. What you're building is the change from going from small business to big business. And as at this time, we might have had 40, 50 people on the team. Now we're up to damn near 400 people on the team. See, once you make this transition into the big business, things get different. A different level of momentum begins to happen. And so getting into character assassinations, I've been through a lot of different people that tried to tear this whole thing down. And no one person is going to make or break this organization. Even if I leave at this point, I feel like there's enough great leaders, enough people on the team that my company would be great even without me. Now, would the vision of the change and the marketing and the innovation continue to be the same? That's to be determined. But the reality is, the truth about RRCA is, maybe we haven't been the most profitable year after year company because we've reinvested into technology, because we've reinvested into our people, because we've always gone all in on building the best organization as an example of our system. And, I can tell you that sitting halfway through the year, we do a quarterly, twice a year, we do a manager retreat, and we did a study on the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And if you have a group of people that you're in charge of, this book is incredible about getting everybody in alignment, because the one unfair advantage you can have to get everybody on board is getting good teamwork. And so, what's funny is that you put people in a room, you share some of the hardest truths, you have hard conversations, and sometimes in these moments you realize people that are not team players. And we had 2 people that really didn't participate in this meeting, and I should have known right then there was a problem. As a matter of fact, I did know there was a problem, because from that point on, since there wasn't participation, since there was basically one of the people that are saying all kinds of shit that was a manager, she was getting paid $100,000 a year plus commission. She didn't show up for one of the days. And so afterwards, I asked her to get off of the payroll. And, a lot of times your standards are what you tolerate. And as a roofing boss, my biggest weakness is I've been too soft. And if you have hired your best friends, hired people that you work with, if you consider the people that you work with a family business, I want to tell you this. The people that work with me are like family, but it's more like a sports team family. Because in a sports team, if you don't train hard, if you don't work hard, if you don't get results, then you will be replaced with somebody who does. And in a real family, we love you unconditionally no matter what problems you got. And I will tell you that a lot of people mistake the 2 different types of families in business. And, the truth is when performance dips, when you don't meet our standard for core values, and when you're not doing your part, that's when it's the owner's job, the CEO's job, to hold the line. And if there's one thing over the last year and a half, look, I got more serious in the gym. Many of y'all might notice, people would ask me, Lee, you've been hitting the weights, you've been lifting hard. Hell yeah, I've been lifting hard. I'm preparing for the fight of my life. And being a little bit more disciplined on myself has helped me be a little bit more disciplined on my team. And, one thing I can say is, like, my lesson for dealing with character assassinations, the more success that you have, the more, whether it's a local roofing company saying that you're a piece of shit storm chaser and a scam artist, or it's another roofing coach or a roofing sales guy that used to work with you that's trying to say you don't pay your salespeople, not only do they hate us because they ain't us, okay? Because a lot of the times the people that come up with these crazy stories, they get close to me, they really like me, they love me, and they love the system. They love but somehow, some way, they want what I have. They want the platform. They want the stage. They want to be the man. And they don't understand the pressures that come with being the man. They don't understand the time it took to be the man. They want it all without the sacrifice. And what happens, it starts to eat with them alive inside of them. And I've seen it happen with salespeople, with managers, even with my own family. And, part of me and one of my gifts is I can feel how people are feeling. I'm very empathetic. I mean, I know that I'm very braggadocious sometimes on the internet. And, sometimes people take that as overconfidence and sort of cockiness. And, what I want you to do is understand my purpose. My purpose is to share my experience, strengths, and hopes, help people get into the roofing industry, make them successful blue-collar entrepreneurs, help them live better lives physically, mentally, and spiritually, and give all the credit to God. Because it's not me. This vision of giving men confidence, helping raise the status of the middle class, and raising light to the roofing industry, to me, I mean, this is what drives me. And so when someone comes on and they try to devalue what we're doing, saying we're a Ponzi scheme. Look, for one, we pay out millions of dollars in commissions. I just got off the phone, ABC Supply. We're going to purchase $10 million from multiple supply companies this year. And our payroll is close to $1 million a week in cash money. With 350 employees for 17 years, no one's ever bounced a check at RRCA. At RRCA, we've always maintained our relationships with our supply companies, and we've stood behind every job we've ever done. So the idea that hundreds of thousands of roofs could be built, thousands of entrepreneurs' lives could be changed, millions of dollars could be created, not just for me, but everyone in my family and even my customers and even the people in my business. And that because people like to click and see Lee Haight fail, or they want to see somebody at the top fail, what I really think is a problem is this fake news cancel culture that we live in, where people are just going to put my picture next to the word Ponzi scheme because somebody says something without doing any research behind it. And so I think this is some things that we all know happen to everybody. How do you fix it? Number one, you got to block it from your mind. You can't. Here's how I look at it. I got a tarot card reading, and they said, man, you really get involved in the emotions of people around you that are failing, and you get your emotions tied up in them. What you need to be able to do is you need to be able to throw those people a life jacket and say, swim to the life jacket and save yourself. Because what you're doing, Lee, is you're jumping in the water. You're trying to save them. These people are dragging on you, and they're dragging you underwater. And I don't know if you've ever felt like you've tried to save somebody before, and they just have their own demons, and they drag you down. The reality is leaders' jobs are to lift up. It's our job to put our hands out. But sometimes people are too fucked up and don't want to help themselves. And so once they become toxic, once they become a negative vampire, you have to understand, even if they're family, even if they're people that you love to the day you die, you have to block the negative, the vampire aspect of that. For me, that means boundaries on certain types of conversations with certain types of people. Now, that person might be in my family, and we might be able to talk about great family stuff. But when it comes to business, I have to have boundaries and dealing with partnerships. For instance, this person that was working in our business that, I think the biggest reason why she's hurt was the way she was let go, and it was out of my control, and I wanted to fix it, and I didn't do some things right, and I really regret how sometimes working with a team of people, the most important thing is when somebody goes on, that they go on in the right way. And I would say moving forward, that's one thing I can get a lot better at. Now, second of all, this is the most important thing everybody has to realize. When you're dealing with defectors, when you're dealing with mutiny, when you're dealing with problems and you're trying to rebuild, the first step is to cut the cancer. The second step is to replace it with goodness. The second step is to get back into the service mode of recruit, hire, train, to get back into the service mode of growing your leaders, to get back into the service mode of helping the community, and to create replacements. And so for us, what happened was down in Lake Charles, Lindsay worked with David. We built a book of business. She had some good marketing strategies. We implemented them together, and after a year she made enough money she didn't want to travel and work on the road. So instead of just staying from home and settling up with her commissions, it's easier for her to character assassinate me, create some content on the internet. So she has goals to sell her own training and consulting, and she has goals to help people with getting more commercial jobs. And you know what? I think she might be able to help some people in that department. However, the way that is going about it by alienating my character, it's not only wrong, it's a disgusting aspect of humanity and culture, and it's a disgusting aspect of what this social media shit does to people. Because the truth about RRCA is we're one of the good guys. We stand up for the truth. We stand behind every promise. We stand behind every job. We care about our enemies' health, wealth, and happiness. And yeah, we want to be the best. Yeah, we want to beat everybody. But the truth is that, a lot of people can't handle working together as a team. And one of the biggest things I can tell you moving forward is look for the people in your organization that are lone wolves versus team players. Ask them, hey, who's been the most responsible for your success in your career when they come to work with you? If people can't tell you other people that have helped them get where they're at in their career, if people think and they say things like, I'm a self-made human being. I've done this, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. I've had to figure this out. A lot of times that really kind of gives you indicators of a narcissist. And so as you get bigger, sometimes the target gets bigger and you have to be a little bit more selective with who you work with. And I'll tell you the truth is like even me, my recruiting systems of creating content, attracting people to come to work with me, getting people through a recruiting funnel, they give me freedom. But the other thing is like how, as you get better at it, more selective can you get? Be hard to hire, quick to fire. In the past, I've hired everybody based off of one thing. Can you fog up a fucking mirror? Oh, you can? And you can follow this and you can show this up, you're hired. And you all know there's consequences to that mentality. And, some of those consequences mean that when you have a big public image and people think they can destroy your public image and that's going to destroy, you're going to leave yourself open to be a target. Now, and this is the next thing that I would tell you to do if you're dealing with defectors, haters, character assassinations, and mutiny. Fucking sales cures all woes. Go out there and land big jobs. Go out there and create more leads. Go out there and have the biggest sales week of your life. And all of a sudden, none of that shit matters. And so I just want everybody watching this to understand one thing. A lot of people like to say a lot of things. I'm a complete open book. I'm transparent. Me and my dad have had a rocky relationship scaling our company. And I've had to fight for power inside of my own organization. And even though my dad's been my biggest coach, he's also been my biggest challenge. And now it's my job to guide him and help him be the person he wants to be. And a lot of times, he has his own vision. His software Claim Express, this year I made a mistake. We immediately transitioned to a new software, Job Nimbus. We connected it. And I told my dad from the very beginning, hey, we're going to build Claim Express based off of the stuff we learned from the system, and we're going to improve upon it. And, one of the things father-son gets into is sort of a pride and ego. Who's responsible for success? It's one of the consequences for having a lot of wins. I will tell you one thing. I wouldn't trade any of the hard stuff of working with family for the championship moments in life when we win together. And you have to learn how to forgive people. You also have to learn how to forget about pride, emotion, and people's egos. And it shows emotional intelligence when you can do business with people, even when they're family, when they have issues, you can work through it. And so I just want y'all to know, recently, Pops said he wanted to participate in the Win the Storm conference. I said, go ahead. I personally don't have anything to do with that group. He wanted to showcase Claim Express. Great. Go ahead. These type of contradictions behind the scenes, I don't always share them. I don't always share how difficult it is to start a storm. We just went into a hurricane. We spent $2 million in cash. We put out 5,000 squares of TPO on dry ends and all this money. And you know what rich people do? Rich people stay broke. We're about to sell a big apartment complex in Daytona. There's a lot of big things on the horizon, but when it comes down to it, you got to make your money work for you. Money sitting in a bank account does nothing. And, the moral of this story is the bigger impact you make, the more jealousy that you're going to create in the people around you, the more haters that you're going to get. But, those people don't pay you any money. And if you stop your mission, if you stop what you're doing, if you don't create content or you don't go out there and take action, he who angers you controls you, and you're letting them win. Not only are you letting them win, but you're taking money out of your pocket. You're putting it in theirs. You're writing a check to them. And the biggest thing I want you to know is that you're only one play away. And every single year, and if you would ask me, Lee, you always got things going perfect. Everything's always great. Well, let me be real with you. During the rainy season in Florida, we don't get to build as much. We scaled a lot of overhead expense. We didn't make as much money as anticipated 2 months after our quarterly review. Here I am scratching my head. Hurricane happens. Now I got to put out all kinds of money to grow my business again. It's like Elon Musk. If y'all ever read Elon's story, he risked all the money that he made from PayPal in SpaceX and in Tesla. And they got to a point where they're shooting a rocket into the space, and if the fucking rocket blows up and doesn't come back and land, there goes Elon's fortune. And that man says, look, my financial future is not as important as the mission. I'm willing to risk death for success of the mission. And that's what kind of entrepreneur I am. And, I have a quote, a poem in my office, a saying about the man in the arena. It's not the critic's opinion who counts. It's the man who is in the arena. And, one thing about me is the last 3 months of the year, every year, I always find a way, whether it's land more commercial jobs, do one ad campaign, create a $1 million producer knock star. I find one play to run that helps me double my income in the next 3 months. And so the story about our RRCA is, look, this year is going to be our first year where we sell more than $100 million in jobs. And frankly, I am building an organization that soon will be worth $100 million. And a lot of people can say what we're doing isn't real, but it's getting so fucking big that even my haters got to put me on a fucking magazine cover. Okay? 1 week I'm on a magazine cover. The next week, I'm a fucking Ponzi scheme artist. Why? Because my face sells fucking magazines, all right? And the reality is it's because I'm a real human being. I share with you my journey, and it says Lee Haight is no stranger to controversy or success. And so I just want you to know they're trying to come out with some content to devalue hundreds and hundreds of people's lives. And I just think it's funny because we're going to start a fourth quarter sales challenge. We know sales cures all woes. We know you don't give two fucking shits. We know that we're the real fucking deal and have the best growth system in roofing. And you tell me how much business you've generated for your clients this year. I can tell you I've generated more than 9 figures in results for mine and 9 figures in results for my people. That's why, hands down, whether it's Sky Diamonds, SVG, fucking Diamonds in the Sky, Dale Childress Jr., any of these other people, okay? How much results have their clients generated? See, the thing that's different about me is we help people generate leads, salespeople. We have a system to train their salespeople, and we have a blueprint for success. When we implement our system, people double, triple, quadruple sales. And that's why we're going to do something that we've never done before. I'm going to give away $10,000. Who wants to win $10,000 on this fucking live stream? All right, type in the words fourth quarter. You'll get your chance, because here's the deal. This is the fourth quarter roofing sales challenge. I'm giving away $10,000. I'm giving away a VIP ticket to the Blue Collar American Dream Conference in March. I'm giving away a hotel room. What are you going to have to do to win? You're going to have to be the number one gun, the top sales guy, top roofing owner, top roofing sales manager. This contest for roofers, salespeople, owners. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be judged based off of total sales, total volume, and implementation of my blue-collar marketing method, 30-day recruiting challenge, commercial sales strategy, and Sky Diamonds University, 5 Eyes of the Blue Collar Close. And how we're going to do it is in a private group. And so if you're interested in this fourth quarter challenge, the cost is going to be $100. If you win it, you're going to win $10,000. You're also going to get a hotel room and a ticket to my Blue Collar American Dream Conference. And I'll show you how fucking Ponzi scheme my goddamn goddamn growth system is. When I blow up your damn business like I did from Mammoth Roofing this year, this man came into my system. He's killing the game. He started at $5 million this year. He's probably going to end the year closer to $12 to $15 million. He put himself on track to do $20 million in sales. He's just another one of these guys getting massive results. There's another guy out of Atlanta this year, a brand new Sky Diamonds Elite member, Dean Franklin, who took his business from $5 million to $15 million. And you know what? These are stories from this year, okay? And is everybody that successful? No, because everybody's not as coachable. Everybody doesn't do what I ask them. Everybody likes to blame other people, make up stories, and sometimes they just don't make time for success. So in a society where crabs in a bucket and cancel culture exists, you know what people do? A lot of times people blame other people. People throw shit on the wall. People try to character assassinate. I don't have clients in my program doing that. That never happens. What I have is people that get close to me that I pay, that work for me, that don't align with my core values, that don't perform. And on a sports team, when you ask somebody to get the fuck off your team because they're not aligned with your coach's mission, they're not fucking listening during the speeches, they don't show up for practice, get the fuck off your team. You know what? Sometimes they say the coach is a dick. And so, you know what? I'm okay with that. And I want to get y'all into doubling your profits over the next 3 months and entering this roofing sales challenge. What you got to do is you got to type in fourth quarter. And what we're going to be covering is on a 2-day virtual live event. It's a 2-day live event. And we're going to be over those 2 days. We're going to be covering how to create an ad campaign, connect it to the SDU hub. It's the automated follow-up system that we have to follow up on our leads. And, you know, it's the way that we've scaled to 1,000 leads a week. The automated text email follow-up that goes along with converting those at the highest percentage. It's a machine. You put $1 in, $5, $10 comes out. And if you can implement that, you're only one advertising campaign away from the ability to build wealth. Type in the fourth quarter. Type in fourth quarter if you want to be a part of this fourth quarter sales challenge. Maybe you're a sales rep. You want to enter this contest because you want that extra push. You want to be recognized. Guess what? The winner of this is going to be recognized on stage with a championship belt, fourth quarter sales challenge winner. And what we're going to do is we're going to judge you based off of total sales, total volume, and the ability for you to execute my system. So even if you don't sell the most, if you make the best ad videos, if you do the best direct mail campaign, if you land the most big jobs that are in your pipeline for the future, all these will go into consideration. And the quality of content that you create along the way is not only going to be shared on my platform, but it's going to give you style points to win this fourth quarter sales challenge. And we're going to be giving you access to a private group. It is $100. This is a big idea. It's something brand new. And we're not just going to be talking about advertising. We're not just going to be talking about commercial. We're going to be talking about how to drive door-to-door sales. If you're a sales manager, if you're a salesman, look, you need the 5 eyes of the blue-collar close. You need how we run a door-to-door church. You need how we run a door-to-door contest. You need the opportunity to be included in my contest because there's going to be more winners than just first prize. We're giving away swag. We're giving away gifts. There's going to be a group chat. We're going to raise each other up throughout the last 3 months. And this extra push is going to create new energy for my sales team, new energy for the Sky Diamonds Elite sales team, and new energy for you, your sales team, for your people. And what I found is if you want to double income over the last 3 months, a badass sales contest, a hardcore door-to-door push, a new marketing campaign, and an attack on commercial jobs is exactly how the fuck you do it. And so if you want to be a part of this fourth quarter sales challenge, if you want to really find out what it's all about, executing my system, you're going to hear from some of my most successful students. They're going to be teaching you on what they've been able to do well. You're going to, in this private group, have insight from my community, from me, from people on my team, and we're going to all win together. Because look, the end of the year is approaching, and if you're in a cold weather market, look, you're either on track to hit your goals or you're not. If you're not on track to hit your goals, you can run around and you can blame other people for success. You can look over here or look over there. But the reality is we got to take extreme ownership. We got to say, I take full responsibility for where I'm at. I know I have the ability to hit my goals. Don't ever change your goal. Change the activity level you're not making enough offers. You're not getting enough leads. You're not spending enough time training your people, and you don't have enough commercial opportunity. Don't worry. Type in fourth quarter in the comments. Join us in this private group. Join us for the 2-day live training. You will be entered into a contest. The contest is going to be over right before Christmas. So we're pushing. The contest is going to end. Everyone's going to be recognized. And by December 17th, we're going to have a clear winner, $10,000 cash, hotel room, and you're going to get a ticket to the American Dream Conference in March in South Florida. And so, look, going through all the history of RRCA, the challenges of working with my father as a father-son team, juggling cost of goods, overhead expense links, doubling sales, dealing with insurance companies, the Florida insurance market slowing up your money, and what it takes to truly make it in this world. It takes balls. It takes risk. And sometimes in order to be fucking wealthy, you got to risk it all and stay broke. And what that means is, yeah, we pay our people well. Yeah, we invest into our company. And number one, we take care of the mission over our own personal self. And the mission is to raise the status for blue-collar entrepreneurs, be the best in the world facilitating success for roofers, build this system that's the undeniable best system for growth, and together build the wealthiest organization in roofing that set the standards for service and growth. And that's what the mission is, guys. So look, if you want to be a part of it, if you want a little extra push, if you want more leads through the Facebook ad strategies, if you want to go into the commercial a little bit deeper, if you want to be a part of the community and just get a little sample of what it's like to work with me, to get my coaching. People ask me today, do you offer one-on-one coaching? Bro, I don't have time for that. I really don't. With 350 employees, management calls, sales meetings, coaching my Sky Diamonds Elite members. Look, this is going to be the best value anyone ever gets from my program because they're going to be getting live coaching from me, from the people on my team, from my Sky Diamonds Elite clients. We're going to give you some action to take every single day that will help you double the amount of profit that you're going to make in the next 3 months for the entire year. And a lot of times you're short, you're not hitting your goals, you need this extra push to hit your goals. So look, type in fourth quarter. I look forward to helping you. And to all the haters out there, to everybody that's preying on my downfall, look, God bless you. I hope and wish that you have massive success. And I want you to continue the hate because this is the best motivation. And I want everyone out there that's on those streams, before I go and block people, I do make mental notes of everyone preying on my downfall. And you might ask, why is Lee always in the gym punching things? Well, it's mental therapy. It's the way that I get a little bit closer to God after I get some of my demons out me. And what the demons are, how much I care about the people that fall off. I'm this kind of guy who's guiding folks that are in sort of a renegade space, and sometimes that means there's a little renegade baggage, and sometimes it gets to me. In order to shake those off, I got to get in a gym. And I love to see these fat, lazy other roofing owners that are all about, making money and tearing other people's down like the old school. And I love to see them prey on my downfall because, we have something big coming up. We've got a blue-collar contractor fight club. Many of y'all have seen maybe some of the fight footage and stuff. I don't know if you know what I'm doing. I'm doing this, one, because hey, it strengthens my immune system. I find personal enjoyment out of being in my top physical shape. Number two, I'm doing it because I went to UFC fights and thought, holy shit, wouldn't it be great to hold a personal development event where there's cage fights at the event? And so we're working on putting together an event for contractors where RRCA is going to literally me go into a cage versus other trained MMA fighters, boxers, kickboxers, and it's going to be a night for the ages because all those people that prey on the downfall, I do wish them the best, but I can't wait for the test. I can't fucking wait for the test because there's no lies in the middle of the ring. There's no lies in the market. There's no lies in this live stream. This is real. And a lot of people, they don't have the ability to speak their truth. They don't have the ability to get in the ring. They don't have the ability to risk it all. And so they look at me like, no fucking way that guy can do it. And without saying bad words in the same sentence as saying God, I'm going to say, hey, it ain't me, man. That strength, I do have my own fear. That courage that I get, that comes from a different place where the mission is more important than my life. The mission to build the wealthiest organization, to get more blue-collar entrepreneurs into our business, to kind of raise up the whole roofing industry, you know. And for me, I think that anybody out there that wants to defect, hate, character assassinate, I'll stand up and answer any of the questions. I'll do any of the interviews. I'll sit there across the room and table and answer them point by point and provide the evidence of exactly what we did right. And so will my people. And so I just can't wait for all this to come together, because there's so many people out there spreading mistruths, lies, and grown men that are out there preying on people's downfall through keyboards should realize we used to live in the age where, you know, men stood each other toe to toe, and if they had something bad to say, they said it right to each other's face, and they didn't hide behind a keyboard. And if it was something that was name calling that meant that it was time to throw down, that throwdown happened. Guns, knives were left aside, maybe, and then the beef was squashed. And so the reality is there's been a lot of beef between CMR and RRCA, two large companies in the roofing industry. And as a matter of fact, recently, one of the sales guys that I've had problem with in the past, he tried to fight me in the middle of the streets. And so I called management over there and I said, hey, look, instead of us running our names on the streets and just fighting in the streets and, you know, losing jobs, we need a cage fight between companies where we have RRCA versus CMR. And, you know, you pick the best fighter that you got at my weight. You know, I weigh about 190 pounds, 180 maybe weigh in, and they got somebody for me. And I respect the guy. I respect their team. I respect what they've got over there as an organization. But I want them to have a little respect on my name. I want them to have a little respect on RRCA. And not only are we willing to pay the blood, sweat, and tears in the streets with the results in the numbers, with the results in the roofs, with the results in the squares, with the results in the lives changed, but we're willing to pay the price in the ring too. And so we're willing to do that so that you can see what my way of dealing with haters is. I just call them straight the fuck out. And I tell you just like it is. And I'm completely an open book. And any one of you that, you know, has crazy shit to say about my ethics, you know, I just want you to look at the track record. And really, if you really want to call me names and you want to do these things and you want to character assassinate, you know, I just want you to know that the world is a brutal place, and the karma will come. It doesn't have to come from me, but God damn it, if you want to come get it, you can join us at the Contractor Fight Club, because we're going to have a lot of fun when CMR steps up and they give me their roster of who they want to fight at RRCA. We've already been talking about this. It's going to change the roofing industry. It's going to change the personal development industry. Nobody's ever done personal development in cage fights. Nobody. Okay? Why? Why are you so violent, Lee? Why? Why do you want to beat people up? Look, man, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to beat people up. Okay? But, you know, look, out of resistance becomes a great man. And I know that to grow a big company, to grow a big business, there's going to be a lot of fights. And so me willing to take shots and put the price in the training, it's sort of a metaphor for the same shots that I'm willing to take as I grow my big business. And so when you learn to love the shots and learn from them, then it doesn't hurt so bad when you get caught. And, you know, why do I love to this idea of creating this? Because I love to entertain. My mission is, you've heard it 1,000 times, and if this brings more eyeballs to the mission, more people to the team, more respect to the name, more understanding that we are for real, then, dude, it's worth it. And if you're entertained in the same process and you get to learn something, change your life, and I'm going to give all the credit and the glory to God, how's that a bad thing? And so I just want y'all to know one thing. I would be nothing without this roofing industry. Now, this roofing industry helped me find God. It was to get into the roofing industry. I was a degenerate, knucklehead, drug addict, failed out of college, working at a car wash, and almost gone to jail because I broke my probation. And I got sober in the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting room and met my higher power for the first time at the age probably of about 18, 19 years old. And I got disconnected there for a lot of years. And I've been on and off. I kind of told you that desperate moment where I was $1 million in debt and I gave my finances up and kind of trusted. And I ain't a perfect human being. I'm definitely a sinner. I have to ask for forgiveness all the time. But the reality is, guys, we live in a world where people try to cancel other people. People try to take the good, the bad energies, the bad people, the bad negative. They want the people with the big light even more. So when you get massive success, when you get all these big things, you just have to remember one thing. The light inside of you has to be as big as the lights that are on you. Because if the light inside of you is not as big as the lights that are on you, you will crumble under the pressure. And so that light only comes from one place, and that don't come from me. It ain't something that you can read in a book. All right? So thank y'all. Type in fourth quarter if you want to spend more time. We look forward to helping everybody, and I hope this might have answered anybody's questions. We certainly ain't running for any questions, and we look forward to it.